Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. I'm absolutely hale and hearty. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm also fine, feeling good,
Okay.
enjoying my day.
Okay,
Though it
that's
is,
great. Yeah, it's a
though it
weekend.
is packed, yes, weekend, but it is always packed with some stuff like we are arranging house, shuffling bed sheets, and other things. But still, we enjoy our day.
Okay, that's great. We are going to talk about it in detail. Right, Pramila? I think this is your first session with me, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So why don't you give a brief introduction about yourself? It will help me to understand you better.
Okay. Uh, as you know, my name is Pramila. By profession, I'm a teacher in DOE in Delhi. I teach
Mm-hmm.
English to the students up to class 10th. And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, I'm building my habit of interacting with people. I'm very much involved in interacting with different people from diverse cultures and background. Like we have our practice session on WhatsApp calls. And still, I like whenever I get a chance, I try to interact with my colleagues also in English. And I'm mother to two kids. My daughter is in 11th. My son is in fifth class. And I have been in this teaching profession for the last 20 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
love to read books, or I love cooking also. And I try to engage myself in sports activities also with my kid.
That's great. That's great. Are you from Delhi? Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I
that's
am
great. So
from Delhi, but after marriage, I am residing in Haryana.
okay, okay, that's great. And I didn't get the school. Is did you say DU, Delhi University?
DOE, Department of Education in Delhi. I am
Okay,
working
okay.
in government school.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, that's great. And the subject or the language that you teach is English, right?
English, yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So, could you please help me to understand what has been your qualification? Like, have you done any bachelor's? Have you done
Okay,
bachelor's
okay.
degree in English literature or something like that?
I have completed my master's in English, and I have double masters in education also,
Mm-hmm.
and I have done my PG diploma in school learning and management, and still
Mm-hmm.
pursuing something or other thing. I keep myself busy in studying.
No, that's amazing. Otherwise, I have seen it with most of the government teachers. Once they get the job, oh my God, their growth becomes stagnant. They never
Yes,
thrive to learn something new or the other. But in your case, it's completely opposite, right? You want to learn more and more. Okay, that's
yes, yes,
amazing.
yes. That's
That's
true.
great. Yeah, because there's no competition. Many people say that in government sector there's no competition. In private sector there's a lot of competition among teachers that I want to be better than her. I want to know, is there anything of that sort in government sector as well?
No, no, no. Everybody is chill. They are satisfied with the position or with the salary they are getting. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no there is no rat race, I would say. They
Mm-hmm.
are very much content in their life, what they are doing, how they are performing. Like though colleagues, like some of my colleagues are like me. Like they
Mm-hmm.
try to do better in other things. They try to have some experience, or they are taking online classes, or they are busy in taking online tuitions, I would say, from students they are across the world. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it is needless, like no need to do that, because they
Mm-hmm.
are getting handsome salary actually.
Yes, but if it's your passion, you must do it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, Mrs. Promila, thank you for your introduction. Let me take a moment. I'm sure that you must have gone through my profile, but still, I would like to take a few seconds to
I
introduce
would like
myself.
to
I'm
hear it
Aisha.
from your side. Yes.
Sorry.
I said I would like to hear it from your side, please.
Okay, actually, your network is not that supportive. I think, your video gets blurry after a few seconds.
Okay,
Yeah,
can
now
I
it's
switch
fine.
to can
Okay.
I switch to other network?
Yes, yes, sure, please.
Hmm. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're audible.
Okay, okay. I
Fine.
am connected
Okay.
to Wi-Fi now.
Okay, fine. That's great. So I'm connecting with you all the way from New Delhi, right? And I come with an experience of 7+ years. Before pandemic, pandemic was a turning point in my life. Before pandemic, I
Okay.
was working as an teacher. I have worked as an English teacher with many schools of Delhi, private schools, of course, some
Okay.
well-reputed schools. And since pandemic, I decided to go online, and I have worked with different edtech companies so far as a communication coach or a soft skills trainer. I would say that I call myself an English enthusiast because day in and day out, I try to know and understand this language as better as I can so that I can share the same amount of knowledge about the nuances of this language with my learners. And I hold a master's degree in English literature and education. Right, that is some information about me, Mrs. Pramala.
We have some we have something similar. Like you are also having your masters in English and education. I am also having masters in English and education.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And after I'm meeting, a teacher after so long on this platform, because mostly we have IT professionals, right?
Okay.
Uh, though we do have people from all walks of life, but for the first time, not for the first time, earlier as well, I have met many teachers on this platform, but someone from Delhi. So, Mrs. Pramala, I would like to know that many people have this notion in like we do have this preconceived notion that the quality of education in government schools is not good, like you being an English teacher. I've heard many people saying that government school teachers, they don't use English as a medium of instruction. So I would want to know, how do you think it is?
I would like to make it clear that there are categories of government school. We
Mm-hmm.
have different type of government schools. Like I am from basic government school. We have
Mm-hmm.
children from I would say very humble background. They are
Mm-hmm.
many of them are first learners in their families, first generation learners. But
Mm-hmm.
still, high like if I categorize a higher category of government school is Pratibha. We call them Pratibha school. Then
Okay.
after that, there is excellent schools. And
Mm-hmm.
highest most is like what Kejriwal started in his reign, during his reign, STEM connected. There are foreign teachers, they are connected to foreign curriculum. So there is diversity in government schools, and still there is also diversity in the numbers of students or type of students they are,
Mm-hmm.
means the teachers are catering to. So it
Mm-hmm.
depends on, like, if I talk about my school, uh, in a 10th class, we have five sections. I am teaching 10th A. It is a good batch of students. Like, I can communicate with them in English. I can
Mm-hmm.
use English as a medium to teach them. But if I talk about 10th B or other section like 10th E or E, there we have to use bilingual. We have to be bilingual. We have to use mother tongue, or like say Hindi. Hindi is the mother tongue around here. So it
Mm-hmm.
depends how you are catering, to what type of students you are catering. The purpose is you have to teach English. You have to teach the language. The mode can
Mm-hmm.
be any. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, it is also true. Many of our colleagues, they never try to teach in English. They teach English on the like a subject only. It is
That is
their.
That is a problem. English is taught as a subject in many schools.
Yes,
We
not as
expect
a
students
language.
to mug up answers, cram those answers, and reproduce the same material in paper while writing for exam. Right? That
Yes,
shouldn't be. It should be taken. It should be taught as a language, not as a subject.
yes, yes, yes. It's very true. But like if we try to do that, like we have workshops and seminars, to like it is called in service seminars. That is capacity building of for our teachers. If we take
Mm-hmm.
initiative in that, we can learn many things during teaching. It's like I would say teaching is a learning process. We are not teaching, we are learning something. So it is a
Mm-hmm. That is.
continuous process. We should
Mm-hmm.
have that courage to learn new things, but we think
Mm-hmm.
that what we know, that is more than enough. There is no
Mm-hmm.
need to go further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after some point of time, we become complacent. We think, okay, we
Yes.
know enough. There is no need for us to, dig any
Mhm.
deeper. But I
Yes.
believe that teachers are learners themselves, right? They have
Mhm.
to learn, keep learning every time. right?
Very true, ma'am.
Mhm.
Where you
Okay,
are sitting in Delhi? Where you are staying
correct.
in Delhi?
I'm from a south part of Delhi.
South Delhi. Which part?
Yeah,
Like in South where?
very close to Ames.
Ames, like Katwaria Sarai or Vasant Kunj? Where you are?
I would say very close to South X.
Oh,
Yeah.
South Hex. Okay, okay.
Yes. Yes. So
Very
I'm
nice.
very close. We are very close to Ames. Okay, that's great. So I would want to know, like, when you are in school, do you speak with your colleagues? You told me that it is most of the times it's bilingual with your students. For a bunch of students, you can speak or you can converse with them in English. But how about rest of the conversations that take place at your school with your colleagues, subordinates, with your principal or the management?
Uh, See, to be honest, I would say uh, now after watching this my conversation videos,
Mhm.
a few of them had started conversing with me in English, but
Mm.
casually I would say we take Hindi as a main language to communicate.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it was like I feel blissful, like I was delighted. Now many of my colleagues, they are interested in conversing in English,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and
Okay. That's great. That's
it
fantastic. I think
encourages
that,
them.
yeah, I do believe that you do have that zeal and enthusiasm to learn and to grow because you are an English teacher. You would want to speak in English as much as possible. So I
Yes,
think
yes,
that is the reason why you are here on this platform, right?
of course, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
Okay.
have
One.
basically for practicing. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
ki nobody is there that can practice regularly with me if I talk about my colleagues. But still, now they are trying. It's make me happy. Like, oh, you are
Mm-hmm.
getting that positive response from your colleagues, and you are effecting a positive impact on their lives.
And you can be a role model or a torch bearer for your students. They are
Yes,
the ones who will
yes,
acquire
yes,
knowledge through you, right? They're
yes,
getting
yes,
it through you, right? So it is commendable, it is amazing, right? So when you will speak in English, they too will pick it up from you, right? So that is how
yes.
it happens. Right. Okay, great. Okay, Mrs. Pramila, the topic is exploring childhood. So let's talk about your childhood a bit. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, yes, very much. I
Okay, okay, that's great.
remember. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember my childhood like I was in boarding school from the class one. So my early childhood was very disciplined. We still it has like that impact in on my life. Like still I am very much disciplined. As I'm working, I have to be on time. I have to perform several duties before time or on time. But what I miss is that ambience, that environment we were getting on like in 19s, I would say. In 1990s, I was in boarding school in Hisar, and thing like this time we are not getting those things. Like I remember my teachers, my friends, though they are, I mean, many of them are not present on at this time. Many have been shifted to Canada or USA, uh, but everything like now also I see my hostel or boarding school in dreams.
Hmm. Wow. So such was the connection, that you
Yes.
had with your school or with your teachers.
Yes, yes. It was a positive impact. Like I have very nice, like everything. I was good in sports also. I was among top 10 rankers. It was like you have a bit beautiful childhood with all facilities and all activities. So it was nice experience.
Okay, wonderful. So whose decision was was it to send you to boarding school? Was it your parents' decision or
No,
you made a conscious decision that
no.
I want to study in boarding school?
I was only about 5 years old. How could I make a decision for myself at that time?
Oh, just 5 years old. Okay.
I was in first class. I admitted in first class. I got admission in first class.
Okay. So from first class till grade 12, you have studied in a boarding school.
No, I was in first. I was from first to sixth. Then I came to Delhi. Then again, after completing my 10th class, I went again to the same hostel in 11th. But after staying with parents for 3 4 years, I couldn't um, do so well in hostel. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I dropped from hostel and I got admitted in Delhi school, private school.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, that's great. That's commendable. Fine. So, how can you talk about any teacher that you had during your school time who motivated you or inspired you at any point of time in your life?
Yes, I still remember my first teacher, Mrs. Usha Dhaya. She was my class teacher in class 1. Then when I got readmission in class 11, she was still there in the school. And I'm not in touch with her, but 2 years back, I found her on Facebook. She is
Oh,
still stunning. She still look like that. And I feel some connection with her, though I'm not in touch with her. But if I talk about the recent years, one of my neighbor, maybe
mm-hmm.
you must be knowing her. She was just a tutor like you all. I don't know on which platform. She had some vertical, like she used to take many classes, and she was on some vertical on which platform? Maybe EnglishYaari. She
Mm-hmm.
was my very close neighbor, Mrs. Loveleen Suri.
Okay,
Lovelina
lovely.
Suri maybe. Lovelina.
Okay.
Lovelina.
Mm-hmm.
No, she was very like she is very nice lady, and
Mm-hmm.
she is like a guiding light in my life. If
Wow,
I think
that's good.
about this middle age,
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, Mrs. Promila, what's that one thing that makes you very nostalgic about your childhood?
I miss my boarding school life. School life. I
Oh,
miss that childhood. It was
okay.
very fantastic. Like every child should have that type of childhood, I would say. Like
Mm-hmm.
we would take, like we had a foreign tour also in class fifth. I went to Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
and like you must be knowing that OP Jindal and Jindals. My boarding school was of Jindals.
Okay, okay. I think I have heard it. Yeah, I have heard
It
about this school.
was
Mm-hmm.
just like a world class school.
Okay,
So
amazing.
like Madhuri Dixit, MF Hussain, and Pratibha Patil. These were
Mm-hmm.
our chief guests. They used to come in our school functions. I
Oh,
had
that's
photographs with them. MF Hussain, like when I got I got some position in some sports, like maybe kho or yoga. So he
mm-hmm.
was our chief guest. Then I have a photograph with Pratibha Patil also. She was in politics maybe in that time. She was not president. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a very nice experience. We had exposure with foreign students also. Like if you ever visit that school, you will get a glimpse of how glorious that school have. Still, it is glorifying. Like
Okay, that's amazing. Are you still in contact with your school friends? I'm sure that you have spent good amount of time or quality time with your friends that you have had in your boarding school. So are you still in talking terms with them or have you lost the connection?
actually, many of my cousins were in the same school. We were in the same boarding school. So they are my school friends also and my second cousin also. So I am in contact with
Mm-hmm.
them. One is
Mm-hmm.
Mona Khan. Like her name was Mona Vijayan. Then she married to a Muslim boy. She changed her name to Mona Khan. She's a
Mm-hmm.
I think pediatrician or matlab, she is doctor in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And her elder sister is Bhavna. She first, like earlier, she was a principal of DPS Noida. Now I think they have gone abroad, maybe in Australia. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there are many, like those who are in connection with me. They are actually my either they are from my native place or either they are my second cousins.
Okay, okay. Okay. So is there a tradition or a culture of sending kids to boarding schools in your family?
I
Like,
don't know, like I would say we were affluent at that time. We could afford boarding school.
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
blooming. Like on those days, there was a name. It like VDJS, Vidya Devi Jindal School was very famous.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So
Even I wanted to go to boarding school when I was young, but
okay,
my parents, my family didn't allow me because yes, there's no doubt that yes, boarding schools are very good. They it builds your character as a person, right?
of course.
Discipline, everything. So yes,
Like
these things are very important.
if I think about here, like we have students from, though they are resident of Delhi, but if I talk about my school scholars, they were from Bengal, from Nepal, like
Okay,
all over the India.
all
Student
over
used to
India.
come there. Yes,
Okay,
and
okay, that's
later they started for admitting foreign students also.
mm-hmm. Okay, that's amazing. Is it in Haryana?
Yes, Haryana Hisar.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, Mrs. Promila, let's discuss a few idioms now, right? I'm going to write an idiom, and you will have to tell me in what context. I'm sure that as an English teacher, you might have gone through and you must be teaching it to your students day in and day out. But still, okay, it is call it a day.
Call it a day to end the activities.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Can you give me the context? Like, create
Uh,
any imaginary scenario where we can use it.
okay. I was working on some project, but at 11:30, I decided to call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's great. Amazing. Now, the next one, read between the lines.
Read between the line is to understand the hidden meaning or the deep meaning in
Mm-hmm.
context.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. If you had to use it in your class with your students, how would you use it?
See, it is basically used in poetry. Like in poem, I try to say that read between the lines, try to grab that meaning. Don't go with word by word.
Mm-hmm.
Symbolic meaning. You should understand the symbolic meaning of the poem, the gist of the poem.
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's true. Sometimes what we do is that we do a superficial reading, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
read between the lines is to dig deeper and find the
Yes,
exact meaning, to
yes,
understand it deeply, rather than
yes,
giving it a superficial reading, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Great. Okay. Now, another one that I have for you is I'm sure that you must be using it all. Do you make a conscious effort to use all of these in your speech?
I will. I would. Means I should try, and in future I'm going to use these idioms.
Okay. Now, there's one more. Go the extra mile.
Go the extra mile is putting some extra effort to achieve something. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it means to achieve fluency, you should go extra mile by practicing shadowing, listening
Mm.
to native speakers.
Yeah. That's great. Yes. Go the extra mile means to take the extra efforts, right?
Yes.
Okay, for example, you can tell your students if you want to be fluent or an eloquent English speaker, you will have to go the extra mile,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Okay, that's great. Okay, now on the same page.
On the same page means having the same facing the same situation, or it can be used in that context like what I am feeling, you are feeling the same, you are
Mm,
connected with that.
yes, if my understanding matches with your understanding, that is when we are on the same page. Or
Same page.
sometimes just to, for example, you are explaining something. So
Yes,
just to cross check whether your students are following you, then you can ask,
getting
"Hey, are we on the same page? Are you getting all of this what I have been explaining for last
it.
10 minutes?" Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in order to check their understanding, or if your understanding matches with their understanding at that point of time, you can use on the same page. Okay, wonderful. I'm very happy that you know all the meanings and you're able to use it well. Right? It's just because you are a teacher yourself. Okay, that's great.
Wait.
Wonderful.
Listen, ma'am, I would like to say that
Mhm.
I have cracked PGT exam from DSSB, and
Wonderful.
I have cracked my net in English also. But the
Wow.
basic thing I'm lacking is I don't converse regularly in English. I don't practice spoken English.
Wonderful. But let me tell you that throughout the session, you have been exhibiting great confidence, right? You
Yes,
are
I
confident
have that, ma'am.
and you can take it to any level if you want. I just, I wonder that why did you start it very late? You could have started it early. Why did it take you so long to, to create that kind of atmosphere for you, that kind of environment? Yeah.
It's all like it's better. Like I would say, you can embark on any activity. at
Yes,
whenever
it's
you
never too
want.
late. It's never too
It's
late.
never
But
too late.
sometimes
Yes.
we delay things, we procrastinate things a bit.
Yes.
But yes,
No,
you are right.
actually, due to some circumstances or unavoidable, like I would say, I'm very much occupied with my household chores and doing like maintaining myself and my workplace together. It's had been like very hectic for me,
I
but
can
still,
understand.
but in 2025 I decided that I should do something for myself. I would
Hmm.
run my though I was having a YouTube channel from the last year, but I was not consistent. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided I to like to be consistent, to be and to have perseverance to upload something related
Mm-hmm.
to English every day.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, throughout the session, Mrs. Promila, I did not find any major errors as such, but just a few corrections. Many of them have been shifted to other states. So, how will you correct this sentence? Have been shifted, as if someone else has shifted them to those
Okay,
states,
I have
right?
to correct this sentence.
Hmm.
Many
Many of
of
them
them,
have been shifted to other states.
many of them has, I would say we should use has.
Hmm. No,
Many
many
of
of
them
them have moved to, because in India we use the word shifted, but for native speakers
okay.
they use the word moved to, right? Many of them have moved to other countries.
Okay. I have to change that word shift too. Okay, oh God, I got it.
In India we use shift, but the native speakers they use the word move to, or
Move,
right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, many of them have moved to other states or other countries. One of
Hmm.
my neighbor.
One of my neighbors. It should be one of my neighbors.
Yes, yes, right. So one of my friends, one of my acquaintances, one of my neighbors. So we have to add s there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because with many, it should be followed with plural, but we
Mm-hmm.
use singular verb with them.
One of my neighbors. Whenever you are saying one of my friends, one of
Yes,
my
one means
neighbors,
one. Yes.
one. Yeah. So that's why we have to make the other thing plural. Neighbor.